This show is sponsored by Sims Business Systems, Arizona's #1 family-owned technology boutique, serving your copy, print, IT, and teleconferencing needs since 1978. Smartify your business with Sims.
This is Shawn Sims Bradford, host of Exposing Entrepreneur Secrets. This is the show where we uncover the secrets to business owner successes, and we get to know them, heart, mind, and soul. And today I am thrilled beyond belief to have two amazing ladies in the studio with me. I have Melissa Dijon-Filippo.
Good job.
Thank you. We were practicing. And I have Alexis Crisset.
Yep.
Right, too?
Yep.
All right, perfect. With Serendipit Consulting. You ladies are incredible. In over 10 years, you have built a marketing and PR firm. And Alexis, you are the absolute master of marketing. You have done tons for clients in residential and commercial. You have been named 30 under 30. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Melissa, you have gotten so many clients, millions of dollars worth of coverage in all sorts of media, and they have been on amazing places such as The Late Show, USA Today, Huffington Post. Oh my gosh, I love that one. And you were named top female PR professional in Arizona by Arizona Foothills Magazine. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I mean, you ladies have an incredible story, and I cannot wait for our listeners to get to know you. But I want to go back to the beginning. Alexis, when did you first know, at what point in your life, that you had this huge gift for marketing?
You know what? I think it started when I was about 8 years old. My best friend and I would just dream up these random businesses. And I remember creating a business that was like a hotel / summer camp, like somewhat like Dirty Dancing, because that was my favorite movie at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually wrote a whole business plan. We created menus for the hotel, for the spa services. My dad was a graphic designer, so we had him design out the covers. And it was pretty intense for 8 years old, but we would work for days and days. And my mom just thought it was hilarious. And it's like, these 8-year-olds, what are they doing? They should be playing.
You totally created that. And now look what you do. You're a master marketer. That's incredible. And I want to know, Melissa, what about you? When did you discover this fire and this talent for public relations?
Yeah, so, I mean, what I do is really storytelling, and so that definitely stems back to my first memory would be second grade. I authored a book called Bigfoot Barney, and it was the story of how, like, the state of Louisiana was formed by this, like, giant's boot. Like, it looks like a boot, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I won awards for it. Like, I still have it. It's like a hardcover. I drew this I'm not an artist, and the cover is horrendous, but the story is really cute. Mm-hmm. And that, like, progressed. Like, in 6th grade, I won a poetry contest, and I just love writing and then storytelling. And that transitioned, later in life to listening to other people's and brand stories and figuring out how I can share all the unique elements of those stories with the world. And that's what I get to do every day, and I still can't believe that. People pay me to do that. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think that's when you found it, right?
Yeah.
And I can't wait towards the end. I'm really going to pick your brains to understand how you two have formed such a beautiful partnership that works. Mm-hmm. But first, I want to ask you, you ladies started 10 years ago, so 2009.
2008.
2008, mm-hmm. Thank you.
11. In
the middle of the recession, there had to be a lot of challenges. Is there one in particular you'll share with us?
You know what? Surprisingly, we were like blind to the fact that it was a recession, I guess. I don't know if we were blind, but we had such little to lose. We were, 25 and 26. Yeah. I'm younger, just so you know, for the audience knows. And the cool thing is, yes, the market was totally changing. We both worked in real estate marketing and PR, so we both had been in the trenches. But we didn't have this personal fear because we personally didn't really lose much. What we knew we could do is come in and be cost effective and results driven for clients who were cutting their marketing departments. They needed, to spend a little bit less and still get great results. And at that time, we could do it. And we just always had this plan. We were like, you know what? We're young. We both were engaged to be married. Our fiancés and husbands to be were like, we support you. And we're like, worst case scenario, we could go work at Starbucks. I'm an awesome barista.
I love that. So you had a backup
plan. We
did,
and we had no fear. And still today, I'll say, like, we run a multi-million-dollar business, and we still would have no shame in failing, because there's no such thing as failure. You either, win or you learn. So we would learn and we would do something else, and it wouldn't be the end of the world.
And I think a lot of people with regards to the recession would ask us, how you doing, and want or expect this, oh, we're not doing well, we're struggling. But for us, again, we just we're always charging through and always determined to do more. So we were on fire in the beginning.
Yeah.
And you had this hugely positive mindset. Where did that stem from? Have you both always had that? Is it innate, or did you develop it?
That's a great question.
I feel like I'm always super positive, maybe to a fault. Sometimes I always think the world's like Disneyland and everyone, should be all good. So I, like I said, just never had the option for failure. It was just, even if something went wrong, in the beginning, it was a little harder. We've learned a lot, but we still would look at the positive side of things, and we'd learn from what went wrong and kind of move on. So
yeah, and we did. I think we would be failing the audience if we didn't, share in the beginning, because we were so hungry and we were, a less expensive option. We took on almost anything with almost no filter. So we took on some clients that today we would never take on, and we had some harsh learning experiences. Just have to share, one time I was sitting in a meeting with a client and my nails weren't painted, and he was like a total jerk, and he threw $20 on the table and said, you should go get yourself a manicure. In a meeting.
Yeah, I was just, and at the time, we were like, this is our client. We were in such an awkward position. One of his senior executives pulled him out of the room right at that moment and, told him he couldn't do that or whatever she said. But for us, if that happened today, we would have both looked at each other and walked out of the room.
Yeah. But then we were so young and hungry, we were like, I guess this is just what it's like.
But you learn too.
Totally.
But what did you, something like that happens, you hear it, but I can feel that where you're like, it's a punch in the heart and in the gut. How did you get back up from that?
We have each other, and that's the thing, because at that moment I get really deflated easily and she doesn't, which is why it works really well.
Yes.
And so if I remember, this was probably 8 years ago, but walking out of that room, I'm sure I was super deflated, and Alexis is the person, and thank God we have each other, who's just like, you know what? We're going to not take a client like this next time. It's not a big deal. He's a jerk. We crushed it for the brand. Yeah. Let's just move on and move up. And I think we have the ability to always pick each other up like that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful partnership. Mm-hmm. And your values, and I feel like this probably will translate to the clients that you do and don't pick. I love your values. Do it different. Act like a boss. Get results. Show respect. Be bendable. Have fun, and raise your glass. Mm-hmm. How did those values come about?
You know what? It almost was innate in both of us. I think when we sat down to do our values, we struggled a little bit, but then I think a few things that just stood out from the beginning, the act like the boss is that's alive in our culture today so much, is we want our employees to understand that when they're working on an account and recommending marketing spends or looking at KPIs or results we're getting, would they be happy if they were the business owner? Or was that a smart business decision to spend those marketing dollars? And I think a lot of agencies are so quick just to recommend, a really cool campaign that's going to get them a lot of attention, but may not necessarily have a huge impact on the business that they're working from. And for us, we approach it kind of the opposite way. We start with the business. How's this really going to impact them? And then if it gets us awards because we killed it for the client, that's awesome.
Yeah. And also, we have, unfortunately, in our world, people have had so many bad experiences with agencies. So we're so often having to sell against a bad experience. And it's because, and not all agencies, but some just sell the services that will make them the most money, not the services that are best for the client. And that really is where that core value came from. And we hire and fire based on it. It's so alive in our culture, and the rest of the values are so true today as well. We do have fun. We have beer in our fridge. We're creative. We, respect that example of the client thing. Like today, we would never work with a client who wasn't, respectful to us, and our team, we show a lot of respect to our team and vice versa.
And being bendable. Today in marketing, you have to shift and change quickly.
Yes.
And we definitely have processes, but we need to be ready to react at any time to change something in a marketing plan if we're not getting results, or if, again, something, with marketing, if something, the print piece didn't get delivered, we need to print it in-house and get it to the event. So we're just a very nimble and bendable agency. So that was just natural for us.
Mm-hmm. Which is amazing. And you ladies, you have really facilitated, I've been in your office, you have created this culture of fun as well. You do fitness, you do really fun stuff in your office. How did you even get the idea that you had to create a great culture?
I mean, hiring is a challenge in our space always, so we knew we had to stand out and not just put this image on social media and our website that we were cool, we had to actually be cool. And Alexis and I, when we started the company, we were we want to have fun at work every day.
Yeah, and we love working out. So when we first started, that was our start to our morning. We'd go work out together. We'd do a conference call on the way to Orange Theory, spin, and then jump right out of the class, get on another conference call, and it was just that was fun to us. And another thing is, I remember growing up and going into my dad's office because he owned an agency, and it was so fun. And I saw a lot of other businesses, and I just remember being I want to be like my dad's office. Everyone's laughing all the time. And as I grew and worked in other businesses, I really realized that you're at work for 9 hours, you're with these people all day long. You might as well be having fun and be excited to go to work. Those who aren't, it's pointless. You're doing that all day, every day.
We do make sure that what we are doing is actually providing value to our employees, and we measure that through not just retention, but also we do a monthly employee net promoter score. So an NPS score is, you're probably familiar, it's a one-question survey that you might ask your customers. How likely are they to refer you to a friend or family? And it's a 1 through 10. It gives you a lot of insight about how well you're doing. So we ask our employees the same thing. How likely are you to recommend a friend to come work for us? And we're crushing it. Right now, our this last month's score was a 9.75. And when it goes down, it's a clear indicator that something is off in the agency, and we move fast. And we address concerns. We listen to ideas.
It's fired based on it. We
not fired because they gave feedback, but if we see that there's something going on that maybe we weren't aware of, it helps us make decisions quick. And that's been a really important growth tool for us, I would say.
Definitely.
And you ladies obviously care about your employees so much in the culture. Somebody listening that knows they need to give their culture a makeover, but they don't even know where to start, what would you suggest to them?
I would say go deep within yourself and create the business that you actually want to wake up to and go to every day. I have a feeling that person who's struggling to create a good culture probably is dreading Monday mornings, whereas Lex and I are thank God, get us out of this house with these crazy kids. We want to go to the office. We want to be with our family at the office. And I think if you can find within yourself the company that you would want to work for, it should be that easy. And then you'll find people who will also enjoy that kind of experience to come work for you.
And then we have a culture committee, which I think is really fun because, again, in the beginning, we were struggling to create things that we wanted to do or we thought were cool. And we kind of transitioned as we got a little more out of the day-to-day is let's have a committee. So every month our committee meets and they have a budget and they put together a plan that they present to us to get approved. And we kind of we put a couple stipulations on it, it can't be all drinking and partying, so it has to be educational, some fun.
Yeah,
some
right now
we
have
driven,
a fitness-driven challenge that they put together. We're doing memorial miles, so we're tracking our miles every day, and we have a goal to hit by the end of the month. And we're making a donation to, I think it's a veteran organization. So we do fun stuff.
Trying to get across,
develop
enough
stuff.
miles to get across the United States.
Yeah,
so we have a big map in our office, and we're all contributing. So it's pretty cool.
That's motivating too to see it.
Oh yeah. Oh, and we have a fitness group on our text message, and everyone texts a picture of what they did. And this one over here wakes up at 5 o'clock every morning and puts her workout, texts the whole office. So it's how can you not get out of bed when you're oh, Melissa, and then the next one follows at 6:15. It's okay, start your day. And it's kind of some competition, but then everyone gives each other shout outs.
But our employees started that, which is so cool. That's not started by us. They started it. And the coolest part is they asked us to join with them. So we're we'll do it.
What's so cool that I'm hearing is, there's companies that will start a great program to increase culture, but the owners might not be involved.
Yeah.
You ladies are involved, which I know absolutely increases the
engagement.
Satisfaction, engagement.
I mean, I'm the pitcher in our kickball team.
Yeah.
And you have a kickball team. I mean, you have all this cool stuff. Like, you are absolutely having fun while you're growing your company.
Yeah. And don't get us wrong, we work our butts off and our employees work really hard. And that's why we do the fun stuff, because we realize how much time and energy they're going home at night and finishing up big projects. And we expect amazing results for our clients, and so our employees know that, and so we try to have an awesome balance. And I think we've, after 11 years, we've nailed it.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you ladies that. A lot of people would advise against going into business with somebody else. How have you two made your partnership work?
I mean, I think we both stay in our own lanes, and that's what's worked from the beginning. And we are so different. So, like, I definitely believe that, like, opposites attract statement.
Yes.
In the beginning, Melissa's super conservative. She's, changed a little bit, but she's pretty conservative. I'm the risk taker. I don't follow the rules. So she would kind of reel me in. And then I run the marketing side. She runs the PR side. And so we always just respected each other's opinions, and we value each other's knowledge of each arena. And so that's been really helpful. I think partnerships, when you're both doing the same thing and have the same opinions, but they may differ a little bit, it's a challenge. So
yeah. And I think importantly, like, it's like a marriage, and we certainly don't agree all the time. We once a month probably, like, get into it, but it's so productive the way that we disagree, that, like, number one of us, like the other day, I was so wrong. I was in a bad mood and I took it out on her, and I texted her right away, and I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm like, I need to bring this to my marriage, like how I treat, but also we can sit in a room with each other and decide, okay, one of us is going to win this argument. The other person's going to be 100% on board when we walk out to the team. And that is always the case. And it just creates this important synergy that has propelled us forward. Like, we've never had a moment where we've at least I've not regretted being in a partnership, so.
I love that. So if somebody's listening and they are struggling right now with their business partner, do you have a word of wisdom for them?
I mean, I always encourage people just to, like, kind of hash it out, talk about it. I think people struggle when they have this feeling and they get pissed off or they're frustrated and they don't have the conversation. Even if they have the conversation and nothing gets solved and they just keep holding that grudge and it just festers, I think that's the problem. We, like Melissa said, we hash it out and
like right
away, and we move on.
And I think transparency is important. If you're not really sharing your feelings, your emotions, or that is never going to work. And there are coaches. We haven't engaged in that because we haven't needed to, but there are business partner, like, therapists that are out there. And I would say, if your partnership isn't perfect, I think I've heard it's a great option.
You ladies have created so much success in over a decade. You've won so many different awards. What has been each of your sweetest success?
I mean, I can speak of one, but I just have so many. This is going to be so hard.
Example. You don't have to name any.
Yeah, so, I mean, I just love when I get passionate about an account that I want to jump in, it's typically a big national brand that I get to, like, expose to the world. Oh. And that's my favorite thing. Not that the local companies aren't important, but the challenge of getting national coverage for a brand that no one knows about, like, I could just work for 2 weeks and not sleep. Like, it's so exciting to me. So one example would be Modern Acupuncture. Yes. It was a brand new company, almost 3 years ago, I guess now. And we had the opportunity to, like, launch the brand to the world and generated so much national and local publicity that truly turned into qualified franchise sales for the brand. Like, the CEO of the company will tell you he attributes, PR to driving over 100 qualified franchise sales or leads that turn into sales. So that just is my passion. But I've done that with so many brands. I mean, we've done it for cannabis brands. I represented a vending machine for cannabis that we launched to the world. I mean, that was we had, like, CNN and Nancy Grace, and it was crazy and just sexy stuff. That I love that.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I can hear that fire in just your body and your voice as you're talking.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Yeah. And so mine is more, I think, there's not one I can pinpoint, but I just love a challenge. So if someone challenges me, I'm very competitive, so I want to win. So we do a lot in the student housing space. So when in student housing, the leasing year starts over every year in August, and you have to get to 100% by the next August when people move in to achieve the best rates and revenue for your clients. So we've been called by some clients where they have a negative reputation. They're at like 30% right now in May, and they only have 3 months when the students are gone and have a negative reputation to overcome. And we like stop everything, create an awesome plan. We've even gone to the market, like flyered on campus, hosted seminars if they had a negative reputation. So we really like are hands-on. And when we can see the results of going from 30% to 90% in 3 months and the client's like shocked, that to me is like my sweetest success. And when clients really can see that value and say they can't do it without you. So
yeah, we love that. We love hearing like we couldn't have done it without you.
No, because they couldn't. Yeah. That's your ladies' specialties. And you really practice what you preach. Often you'll see people that they're so busy with their clients that their own business is lacking, but not you guys. When I went to your website and I'm looking at your photos and looking at your downloads and your videos and reading your stories and your blogs, I was just in your website for hours because it was so interesting. So you've also created that for your own business.
But that's taken a while. I want to be like honest in that, because I think in the beginning your head's down working and you're trying to like make sure that you can keep your people employed the next week. And so for the first 5 years, we will always tell people like we played business. We didn't think we were creating a company with 25 employees that would be almost $4 million in revenue. Like we truly were like, we're going to work for ourselves, be flexible, pick our clients, and it's going to be fun. So 5 years in, we were like, okay, this is a business. So, like, what do we do now? And
really?
Yeah. And so we joined, like, entrepreneur organization, and we've, like, done things and then that has taught us to work on the business, not just in it. So we're still in it, but we're also working on it. And that's where now you see, it's been 6 years or so, but we're cranking out some amazing stuff for Serendipit, and that's helped us attract new clients, attract the best talent, and just like love our company even more.
Yeah, and I think we can always get better because I'm super critical. Like, we need to do the best for ourselves, but you put yourself last. But I think that our employees are so proud to share what we're doing that's why some of our Instagram stories are awesome, or our posts and our blogs. They want to talk about it, and it's them that, with a little direction from me, they're just creating on their own, and it's kind of like their own baby, which I feel like they're so proud of.
But I love that there's so many nuggets in what both of you ladies just said. First, you gave us the real deal that happened after about 5 years. And two, you've empowered your people to take charge of that, and they're proud of that and they're excited. So thank you for shining a light.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks always. So I hate when people are like, oh, you do it so well. I'm like, well, it took a while.
Yeah, and 5 years isn't overnight. No. That is a while. Yeah. Before I let you ladies go, what is one or two pieces of advice that you can give to any listeners that are just starting out? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to be tenacious, to be authentic to themselves and create a business that they truly can wake up every day and be so pumped to work in and work on. And it's hard, but it's so rewarding and worth it. And I think I truly believe what I said earlier, like you never lose, like you win or you learn. Yes. So take those learning moments and use them to transform your business to make it even better. I mean, we've done that 10 times over. We've gotten rid of services, changed positions, and it's improving every day, and it's still not perfect. And I'm excited to see what even happens this year or next year,
And I would say, I think I've grown personally so much from the people I've surrounded myself with. So we joined Entrepreneur Organization, like Melissa said, about 5 years ago. And just surrounding ourselves with, A, people who are smarter than us, and B, other business owners that are going through the same thing, that you can sympathize with each other, so you're not always beating yourself up and you think it's only happening to you. Yes. It's so rewarding when something, an EO something happens to us and God, that was a bummer thing that happened. And then you go to the meeting and someone else shares this same experience. And like Melissa said, you learn from it. But you don't feel as deflated when you're around other people that are going through the same things and can share experiences with you that maybe you never thought about. Because I think in the beginning, again, we were playing business, but we're just doing it on our own. And as soon as we engaged other people to kind of give us some advice, I think it was extremely transformational.
I mean, being an entrepreneur is hard.
Yes.
Like hands down, surrounding yourself with a network of amazing people who have the same experiences has transformed our business.
Thank you for that advice. Now, people that are thinking, okay, I have to learn more about Melissa and Alexis and Serendipit Consulting, how can they get a hold of your company?
Yeah, so serendipitconsulting.com, SERENDIPIT, consulting.com. They can call us, 602-283-5209. And of course, like Instagram, it's at Serendipit Consulting, and that's our favorite platform.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Alexis, for spending your time on our show and for letting our listeners get to know your secrets. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.